Ah, yes, my friend. It's time to roll another one. Another good game session, that is. So we're going to go ahead and get into part 2 here. Move everything into place. And exactly where we left off a few minutes ago. With the party. In this room, Kennard has set off a thunderstone trap that was rigged to the ceiling, deafening himself, which I do not believe that there's any... I don't believe that there's a spell to be able to help him with that. Page 84 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. So to impose a -4 penalty to his initiatives. Oh wow. Okay, so we're going to go through this and write this out. So, for the next hour, Mr. Kennard suffers a -2 penalty. So, oh, I'm sorry, that's a -4. That's not how it works. Okay, sorry. -4 initiative. He doesn't cast any spells. Cannot make listen checks. Okay, with that handled, let me go back to my piece of scrap paper I have here. So, with this happening, the party is left stunned for a few minutes. And I'm going to laugh because I really didn't expect the roll to go that way. I expected to overcome the trap and it'd be no big deal. But instead, I'm the one that set it off. So the rest of the party will venture past him. Falcon, as being the party's almost cleric, will take hold of him. And with the trap having been set off, they will dignifiedly lay the body out. Left or right, even or odd. So we are going to go... What would it be labeled as? This adventure doesn't have it very well thought out, unfortunately. No, maybe they do. So before the party leaves, one of the things that they will do Falcon will kneel over the body to pray. Let me get a successful... And he grows curious about whether or not the disease has come here. So, let's go to a roll. So what does my healer's grant me? Because I took the time to invest in items, ladies and gentlemen. +2 circumstance bonus. So whatever I roll gets a +2. Plus my additional skill. Oh, that's a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So our party did not research anything because we were sent up here and we expected it to be plague-like and we didn't want to hang around the town. The body has been dead for about 2 weeks. He had symptoms resembling those of the plague, which means that the plague has reached up even here. It's been dead for 2 weeks, as suggested. There are a number of crude, broken crossbow bolts within the puncture wound that Jason had apparently died from. So, Falcon's people being familiar with bolts and stuff. Let's remove one from a dead body, but let's take a 20. So as it does indeed say, they are crude crossbow bolts. So which means that they were not made by an advanced civilized race. This was done by a monstrous humanoid race that killed them. So the party will now descend further, and we will go first to the right. Of course, I could be using the proper tool, but I decided to be weird. Okay, so with that being said, a closed door serves as the entryway into the mess hall. Once the dining quarter of the mine, this area has now been made... Oh, I'm sorry. A closed wooden door is what the party is greeted with. Okay, so that is our marching order then. So we decided we'd put our 2 low light vision characters in the front. Trying to think of how to be able to do this, folks. Okay, so the party will... Oh ho ho. Oh ho, they got lucky. They got lucky. So, with that being said, the party now finds himself at the door. the characters will give a listen check. Oh, that's a nice roll, by the way. 17 and 18. So Rat gets a +8 to that 7. And Axtooth adds a +8 to that 18, which is more than enough. So behind the door, Axtooth hears the sounds of voices, as does Rack, but Rack does not understand that language whatsoever. So Axtooth will tell the party that he hears that the voices are saying that their commander has commanded them to stay, even though it seems like some of the people or the voice owners of the voices that are speaking Draconic seem nervous about staying. He gives it a few minutes more that there is some manner of creature that has been stealing the dead from the camp while they sleep. Most of the humans have already been stolen, and a few of the kobold corpses have gone missing. So telling them that these are indeed kobolds from the way that they are speaking and some of the terms and phrases they use. One of them also seems to mention that there seems to be a curse on this mine, and half the band has already died from strange fevers or horrible coughs. Which confirms exactly what Falcon had believed, that even the plague had spread, or possibly started here. It was carried down maybe on a trip, supplying things. So, because Kennard is disabled, Axtooth will just go ahead and try the door. And in trying the door, once the door is opened, it reveals a large square room houses 4 wooden tables, each with a bench on each side. I'm a bad drawer. Now I'm not taking my time, so I apologize. In the southeast corner of the room, a small stew pot, or the smell from a large cauldron, emanates from this pot. And what they find inside this room are 9 small little creatures that seem in some way awfully familiar to what Axtooth is. That's hilarious. That is actually a cheap token that has a kobold on it. 9 kobolds. And we will roll for all that beautiful, beautiful initiative in our cigar box here. Let's make a few adjustments as we are bringing up everybody's information on that piece of paper. And then, of course, we have Kennard's penalty written up there on the whiteboard, which he will suffer from a -4 from this initiation. That's okay, he has the lowest bonus to initiative anyway, so it's not like it would really affect him either way. Okay, so with that little bit of shit talked about a character, that's gonna be for our kobolds. Let's write it on the whiteboard. Let's write it properly on the whiteboard. At a 17. They are rated as having a +1 initiative, which makes it 18. Okay, so then that is a 9. We'll add that to rack. So that is an 11 for him. And then, oh man, this dice is cursed. Let's start a new dice. No offense to anybody watching. Oh, that's not anything better. So it's an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Axe has a 15. Falcon has a 7. Falcon gets a 7, 8, 9, 10 with his bonus. Maybe this will help the next one. So Kiwap gets a 2. No, that's not helping. So that makes his a 5. Canard gets a -4, so, oh my god, even with a -4. Oh my god, that's so funny, which makes his a 15. And then Rin is our last party member. It's a 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm going to assume that they were just like they were saying before, that it is a 10-foot hallway. So if Axetooth being in the lead, okay, so Rin's first, but Rin is not able to do anything because of party member being in the way, so she will hold her action. So she'll hold her action, and the Klebolds will take theirs. And it is written in the adventure. They will flip the table over furthest from the entryway and use it as a barricade. They will do the same thing here. So let's see, it says AC bonus +4, reflux +2. These characters will form up, and they will begin taking, just so you can see the formation. These are the 4 kobolds. The other 4 have run to the back. So everything is set up. Oh, 19. So a 19 plus their base attack bonus for their melee. They get a -1, which is an 18. So which means that they have free reign on all but Axe. So because they're not able to hit Axe, they miss. or rather their attacks would probably not do enough damage to hurt him because they are a small humanoid. He is rated as being a little larger, and he does have a natural armor. Okay, so with that out of the way, we are going to descend into the party. So Axe and both Carnarvus have a 15... Oh, no. Yes, both have a 15. So Axe will go first. And he will take a swipe at a kobold. Oh, I'm sorry. It's an 11. His base attack bonus, we should have wrote down, but I'm a dum-dum on my scrap paper. For melee is +5, so which makes it a 16. So they are rated as having an AC of 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, or no, so, okay, so, just the ones without the table flipped over have an AC of 15, so he could be able to make an attack with no problem. So he is going to huff up his long spear and use it as a melee weapon. Oh snap, you can't see that from that angle. Oh, that's an 8. So with an 8 plus a strength bonus, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's a 12. Oh, and that's enough to kill a single kobold. So with killing a kobold, he will now move half a step further into the room between the table and take a risk. Rin, seeing her opening, will now do something that we never seen her do in the last adventure. She will go into Key Frenzy. Her base speed increases by 10. So she will run into the room, keep going, and then, okay, so let's see. Her base speed is 30. They've said the room, they didn't say how big the room is, so okay. So she'll take a position on the other side of the table so that she can be able to attack the kobolds that pop up maybe. And then she's going to take an attack. Oh, you know what? That's right, she wouldn't have been able to make that movement. So she will really step up. I'm sorry, because I'm forgetting rules of moving around here. She can't move around because she has to go through the space. Basically, if she goes to the space, she's threatened. We don't want to do that because that's a -2 AC, an attack of opportunity. So Ren will go ahead and make an attack on this kobold. That's a 14. She gets a, so it's a 15. So that's time for damage. So her longsword does 1d8. Oh, that's not on camera, so that doesn't count. Oh, that's a 6, 7, 8. So that's another kobold that's killed. So she'll kill that kobold, then she'll move. That another half a step, and that's as far as she'll go. So then next in our initiation order, because Ren held her, Canarv will take his chance and then run in. And as soon as he sees a kobold, it will be stabby stabby time. So a stabby stabby time, he is going to use his short sword. But in order to use that short sword, first he has to make that attack roll. That's an 18. Oh, and that's an 8. Plus his attack, or plus his little strength bonus, that makes it a 9. So at a 9, that kills another kobold. So which means we're just cleaning, the party's just cleaning the table here. Okay. So then, at that same time, he has taken his action, Axe has taken his action, so then it goes on to Rack. Rack will simply step into the entrance of the room and make that attack against that kobold. 15 plus his base attack bonus for being a badass is +2, so that's 15, 16, 17. That's more than enough to hit. We had it at 15. We didn't really have to roll for that. So he is going to use his long spear, which is 1d8. 3, 4 is the damage. And that is enough to kill another kobold. So at this point, yep, so then the back side has had their time to take their action. Besides flipping the table. And let's see, what did we say that Falcon will walk into the room and take up position there. By the way, this is done under low light. Oh shoot, I forgot to impose penalties for that, but there's supposed to be extra conditions because of the lack of dark vision for some characters and the lack of light. But like last time, we'll just say that Keyweb served as the light. Okay, now, with taking a big huge chunk of monster, let's continue on. So, with it being the kobold's turn, they're going to make oh, you saw that. That's on camera. That's a 19. Oh, so that was a 19. Let's see what else we have here. So only one of the kobolds will manage to hit a party member. So let's see what that weapon is. So they are going to attack with a crossbow. Their crossbows do 1d8. 5. They don't get a bonus to it because of the slow stats. So Axe Tooth is going to take 5 points of damage, bringing him down to 15. We'll write that up there on the big board, as our party's conditions seem to keep getting worse. So after that, we'll go back into our initiation order because Ren is able to attack them. She will run to this table, or past this table to where she is standing next to the pot on the burner. $16. Oh, nice. So that's 16, 17, 18 for her melee, and a 1d8 for the longsword. And then we add in her... Oh, that's 7 points of damage, so that's another kobold that's killed. So then we're going to go next into our order. Oh, our kobolds were supposed to take their turn after Ren, but oh well. So, either way, it doesn't matter. We're still playing it out. We're still playing it out. No worries, no worries. So, okay, with that being done, we are going to go into, with it being Axe's turn again, Axe Tooth will climb. Well, he won't climb over the table. He will darts horizontally again in that small space. Oh, that's not good. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's a 15. That's enough to hit the kobold. He's going to use his long spear. That doesn't count because it wasn't on camera. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 points of damage. He kills another one. So then the rest of the party will advance. And it just becomes a shooting gallery. Keywap will pull the table over sideways As will Rack from the other side. Give me 2 strength checks. Oh, neither one does. Well, you know what? Actually, let's rate it as a 10. Let's see, 10. Nope, that's not enough to do anything. So they've wasted their turn. So our other 2 party members will make the same attempt. Expose them. 9. And 10. So Kennard manages to pull over one of the tables. So we'll take that out as a factor. Falcon will try the same thing. 8. And Falcon's strength modifier is 9, 10. So yes, he pulls over the other table. And it goes back into the top of the order with Rin being the first one once again. 16 is more than enough to hit. We'll go ahead and roll for damage. Oh, that's not really good, but okay. I don't like that roll, but it is what it is. So let's see. That is 3. That is rated as enough to also kill 1. And then it is the last Kobold's turn, as they spent the last turn loading a crossbow. 14, 15. Not enough to hit a party member. It's Axe 2's turn next. 15 plus his bonuses that he gets. That is more than enough, I know it is. So let's go ahead and go into that long spear. That's 3 points of damage, and that's enough to kill the last kobold. So before the party can be able to do anything, Falcon reminds them that the plague is in this area and to not touch anything, not to eat anything, and not to drink anything. Because, you know, having an intelligence and also a wisdom score that's in the 15 range, you know, he is going to be intelligent enough to know that these things would be prevalent in the area. With that being said, the rest of the room is now accessible. Let's see. There is a door, and then there is a rough tunnel. So that's what we meant to draw into the room as well. With that being said, our deaf thief, in all of his non-being able to roll in this, will be the first one to check the door. Let's go ahead and get that roll. Oh, not enough. You know what I'm forgetting is he has thieves' tools on him. So he would have a bonus. Or we can sit here and take the 20, or we can keep rolling. Let me see what that bonus is from having thieves' tools. See thieves' tools. Yes, thieves' tools don't give them anything. Not so you get a masterwork at least. So we'll keep sitting here and rolling it out. 18. I like the look of that. 18. 19, 20, 21, 22. We're getting closer. Nope. That's another failure. That's definitely a failure. That is another failure. That is another failure. That is definitely a failure. That doesn't count because it's not in the container. So after several minutes of fumbling with the door flies open. Revealing to Kinar before he can be able to tell anybody, there's a long, narrow room that lined with shelves, loaded with foodstuff and supplies. Heavily burlap sacks are stacked atop one another. In the corners of the chamber, a few have been torn open, leaving spills of oats and flour along the floor, with several barrels standing in a cluster near the far northern wall. The room is 60 feet wide. What does it say? 60 feet long, excuse me. 10 feet wide. There's those little shelves in the corners and barrels. Sacks. Door flies open. Kanarv does not know what he did to set it off, and he sets foot into the room. And all of a sudden it's covered in a white cloud of flour. And before he can be able to say anything else to the rest of the party, two sets of crossbolts, what will we say, generously miss him by a good distance. And the party is left with their new action, with being surprised, and we will go from there. Kanarv will try to... Well, Kanarv started this, and he is actually in the way. Axetooth will take an action to step over there into that corner. And he will launch a javelin. Or he will stand there and wait until he sees something. Try to do something again, because he doesn't know. Oh snap, by me setting foot into the room, I have, all of a sudden, Axetooth has a weasel try and take a bite out of him. A dire weasel arises from the sacks underneath where he has taken foot at. And while dealing with this, rest of the party members will now advance into the room, and we will go from there with the kobolds taking another shot at them. Oh, nice. So the kobolds will indeed hit 2 party members. They will hit Canarv with his low AC with their little... the little light crossbows they have, which do 1d8, the same as our sword damage. So that is a 6 that they have dealt, just to look back into the combat that we have going on, with there being 2 kobolds stacked up in the corner. We didn't draw it exactly to size, we apologize. So then, yes. Okay, that is where we are at. Alright, so the Dire Weasel is attacking Axetooth. The rest of the party is trying to get past Canarv. Canarv is blindly tries to get out of the way and bumps into one of the shelves in his blind state, giving room to the rest of the party, as well as angering and bringing another creature into this combat, which is all of a sudden a group of maddened rats rear up from the shelves and seek to attack him. So now, with that being said, we'll now throw the rats into this mixture as soon as I can get to it out of our monster manual book. Okay, here we go. Or is it under vermin? I think it's under vermin. Oh no, here we go. Okay. So, a swarm of rats. We'll rate the rats as having a little bit more HP than they have here, so we'll say it is about... So in case you don't see it written on the board, rats 8 HP. Which means that our party is indeed in trouble. Okay, so... going from there. Axetooth versus this crazed Dire Weasel. So let's get into resetting the board here. Oh, why did I erase that? Okay, so we're just going to erase these numbers. And then we're going to go into our new initiative rolls. So for the rats, $13, $14, $15 is their total. So let's go to the Dire Weasel. Dire Weasel will get +4 to his roll. That's 5. The kobolds, if I remember correctly, get 1. Is it they get +1? Yeah, okay, so they get +1. That's a 10. So then we're going to go into our party members from the top. Rack will get +2 to this roll. That is a 7. Axe will get a 1. So that will make it an 8. Falcon will get a +3 to whatever this roll is. 9, 10, 11, 12. Kiwap will get +1. Oh, a 19. Very nice. And then Ren will get +7. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Total 24. And Kanar gets a -4 to whatever we roll. Oh, which means that he is at 0 and he will go dead last. Okay, so when we pick up, we will draw out the room and we'll have this finished.